Let's talk about two important sunnah that the Prophet ﷺ used to observe and how he used to observe both. When we did video on how to pray, we talked about how the Prophet ﷺ used to recite Quran in sequential order. Allah says, وَرُتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا, that we should recite Quran in order, that is in a sequential order. In Safi wa Witri, the Prophet ﷺ used to recite in the first rakah Surah Al-Hala, Sabis Rabbika Al-Hala. In the second rakah, he used to recite Surah Al-Kafirun, that is Kuliya Ayyuha Al-Kafirun. In the last rakah, he used to recite three surahs, Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Falaq, and Surah Al-Nas. If you look at this, it is in sequential order. In Rakah Atain al-Fajr, that is the two rakah that we used to observe before Salat al-Subuh, the Prophet ﷺ used to recite Surah Al-Kafirun in the first rakah and Surah Al-Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu in the second rakah. On Jumu'ah Day in the Fajr, in Subuh, the Prophet ﷺ used to recite Surah Al-Jumu'ah in the first rakah. Then in the second rakah, he used to recite Surah Al-Ghashiyah. All these surahs are in sequential order according to how the Quran is arranged. The second sunnah is when the Prophet ﷺ advised us to seek refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from four calamity before taslim, that is before you say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. While you are about to finish your tashahhud, you have to seek for the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from four calamities. The Prophet said we should say Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min asabil qabr wa a'udhu bika min asabi jahannam wa a'udhu bika min fitnati mahya wa mamat wa a'udhu bika min fitnati masih dajjal. If you look at this, the qabr, that is the grave, comes before Jahannam. Jahannam is on the day of judgment. Why mahya wa mamat? That is, you have to seek refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from fitna of living and from fitna of death, then from fitna of Masih al-Dajjal that is coming before the world ends. When we observe the etiquette of Prophet ﷺ, the way he used to observe them, then we are guaranteed to have reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a Muslim, we must always seek for how to increase ourselves in reward. Let's strive to follow the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and insert all these things in our salat and try to observe how we are going to arrange our recitation of Quran during the salat in sequential order. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to accept our prayer and grant us all what we are yearning for, both in this life and hereafter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.